All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rachak and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I'll say Shalom to the hopeful elect, hearing this word in truth and sincerity. So in this quick lesson, I just want to do an exhortation to the believers in Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, because, we're in the times of, persecution. We're in times of, agents, spies, and that Esau is, setting up so that he can bring blame to the ministry, and this is all going to lead to persecution of the church of Yahweh Shai, but what I want to really do is, is to go into scriptures that shows you how our forefathers, they were put into situations to where Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Salakia, saved them, so to speak, at the last second. So this is, a scenario that we may find ourselves in. The scripture says, that the righteous shall scarcely be saved, barely be saved. And just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who were thrown into the fire, they were saved out of it, man. Guess what? They were thrown in the fire to be saved out of it. They were not touched by the fire. And like Yahweh Shai said, there shall not a hair on your head perish. Now, of course, we know that there are going to be, brothers, that do be beheaded for the glory of the Lord, but the Lord's going to put a lot of brothers and sisters in situations to where, he's going to save them at the last minute, to glorify his name, and of course it's going to be scary. Of course it's going to be, kind of overwhelming, but that's where faith in the Lord kicks in, that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to do something. This is Romans 15 and 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And this is one of the stories that we have hope through. This is one of the scriptures that we got comfort through. The story in, Daniel the 3rd chapter. But before I go to Daniel the 3rd chapter, I really want to go to Isaiah 41, because, the way Esau talking, the way Esau moving, he's moving like, he can't be stopped, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai got something to say about that. Okay, so this is Isaiah 41 and verse 10. It says, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy power." And the way we see things going right now, it can dismay you. It can shake you up a little bit, like, oh snap, all right, this is really getting ready to happen. But then the scriptures reaffirm us that, look, the Lord got us. The Lord got us. They're going to lie on us. They're going to persecute us. You know what I'm saying? But you got to keep in mind that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is the real judge. Esau is corrupt. If you're looking for a righteous judgment, Esau is not the one to go to. This man is not the one to go to and cry to for, judgment. All right. The scripture says, Yahweh Shai was given that parable. He said, he was saying how if that, roughly paraphrasing it, he was saying if that unrighteous judge, how the woman went to the unrighteous judge and cried, and he gave her justice, so how much more Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, who is a righteous judge, It says, I will help thee. Yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. So the Lord is going to help us, man, through Yahweh Shai. All right, because in the time that we're coming into, it's going to seem like impossible to escape these situations, but the Lord is going to make a way to escape. Verse 11 says, "Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing. And they that strive with thee shall perish, Esau and the rest of the heathen, and 2/3 of our people." All right? Because our own people are going to come against us. All right? They're going to, aid the heathen in trying to take us down. But Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai said what? That they're going to perish, man. Because you don't just come against, the word of the Lord and get away. You don't just come against the Lord's servants, all right, and get away. Eventually the Lord's going to bring that judgment upon you. He always did, So ain't no difference today. This is the book of Daniel, the 3rd chapter. Because being believers in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, makes us a prey in this wicked world. So therefore, we're going to be attacked, verbally and soon to come physically, man. All right. Daniel 3 and verse 10, it says, Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And pretty much, when you go into the Babylonian Empire, Nebuchadnezzar, built himself an image, a statue, and told him to fall down and worship. You had these three guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that did not do so, So pretty much they were told on. It says, and whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. And in these times, the elect of the Lord, is not following Esau's decrees. It's not following his mandates. Hey, when the Jews came out, what were the men of the Lord saying? Don't take it. Or what are the men of the Lord saying now? Don't take that charagma. That's an idol. That's Esau's idol right there, man. So we're not, Lord willing, we're not going to bow down to Esau's image. When this man comes with that wrath, we're still not going to bow down, as you're going to see what these guys do. They didn't bow down, even after Nebuchadnezzar, made threats. They still hold firm in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is verse 13. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar, and like Yahushua said, there are certain of us that are going to be brought before kings and governors for his name's sake. So you can see the similarities between this story and what's getting ready to happen now. Like the scriptures say, there's no new thing under the sun. It says, Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not you serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that the Most High? And who is that power that shall deliver you out of my hands? All right, so he got proud, He got proud. And who's going to deliver you out of my hands? It is the same way Esau moving. Esau moving as though, Yahweh Shem Yahushua ain't going to touch this man. Like he's untouchable. All right? We're going to get them Hebrew Israelites, and who's going to stop us? All right? Little did they consider that Yahweh Shem Yahushua hears and watches everything, and he's getting ready to do something to you, Esau. So what you imagine upon the Lord's people is getting ready to happen to you. It says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our power whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. Yeah, and that's what we're saying now. We're not afraid to go against Esau's, system. We're not afraid to, speak against his decree, because if it be the Lord's will, he's going to deliver us from your hand, Esau. But, if not, we're still not going to do what you tell us to do, as these guys are saying here, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, But if not, and we know that the Lord is able to deliver us, but we're going to be put in situations to test us, man. All right, you just got to stay and believe that the Lord will deliver you. And if you don't, well, so be it, Like what the scriptures say, that the dead in the Mashiach shall raise first. So either way, we win. All right, it says, but if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. We're not going to do it. Hey, even if the Lord don't deliver us, we're not going to serve your image, Then Nebuchadnezzar, full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. You see that? So they were immediately cast into the furnace, man. So this is what the heathen sought for the Lord's people, or to destroy them. Verse 22, therefore, because the kings, and you see how, like, the way it was, they were like worm. Because carnally, they didn't have no power. Carnally, they didn't have no sword. They didn't have no shield. They were likened unto worms, man. They were defenseless. Okay? In verse 22, it says, therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So the fire didn't touch those three, but it touched the men that was holding them, that had them bound up. Show you whose side the Lord was on. Or show you that the Lord had them, man. And like I said earlier, it seemed like, it looked like, they were going to get, burned in that fire. All right, but the Lord had it set up that way to show his power. So in these times, the Lord got it set up to where, we're going to be persecuted. Hell, Esau's going to put his hands on us, on some of us, and pretty much the Lord's going to show his power. However he, delivers, we don't know how, we're going to watch and see how the Lord deliver, but the Lord's going to put us in impossible situations, so to speak, just so it can be shown that he's, the only power. Or Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and Esau might, put you, fucking feet on the ground, and somehow you escape and you're on top of the ground, man. Like, how did this happen? We had you like nearly underneath the earth's core, hypothetically speaking, and then an angel delivers you, and pretty much you're on the top, you're on the top walking the earth. It says, and these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto his counselors, did not we cast three men into in the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He answered and said, lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of the Most High, and that's Yahushua. Yahushua was in the midst, That reminds me of the scripture that says, Yahushua said, where 2 or 3 is gathered in my name, there I am in the midst. Just remind me of that scripture. The Lord is always in the midst, man. 26 says, then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High power, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth out of the midst of the furnace. And the princes, the governors, and captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. So the power of the Lord was showed in this situation that seemed impossible, man. But even in an impossible situation, the Lord could do his thing, and this is what you got to believe, man. You got to believe that the Lord will deliver you, man, no matter what situation you're in. It may be a situation where, there's no food, no water, and it seems like you're not going to get no food, but the Lord can make food appear out of nowhere, man. Like, literally, there's nothing impossible, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Like the scripture had said, for whatsoever were written aforetime was written for our comfort. So we got countless stories of how the Lord fed our forefathers, how the Lord protected our forefathers and foremothers, man. Another quick account that comes to mind is the story of, I want to say, Elijah and that woman. If I can find it. Or was it Elisha? Pretty much they had the, I want to say it was Elijah, cruise of oil, who pretty much had the oil that did not run out. Yeah, here it is, called all y'all Bashmi out shot. I want to say it was Elisha, but I'm going to see Salakia. No, it was, let me see. Yep, it was Elijah. Salakia, man. That was Salakia on my part. It's been a minute since I read this account, but it just came to mind through the Spirit. But this is 1 Kings 17:1. And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as the Lord liveth, Lord power of Israel, liveth before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. So I'm going to jump down to the account. Let me see. Oh, you know what? This is actually a good account because this goes into how the Lord, was with Elijah, with the ravens feeding him. So the Lord can control anything, man. He can have it where the birds feed you. The birds, go somewhere and get food and bring it to you. All right. It says, verse 4, and it says, "And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there." So he went and did according to the word of the Lord, for he went and dwelt by the brook Cherish, that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and brought bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. So Elijah was well taken care of. The ravens were bringing him food, and he was drinking of the brook. So he was good, man, in the time of famine. And it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, "Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee." So he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came back to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, "Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I may drink." And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, "Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand." And she said, "As the Lord thy power liveth, I have not cake, but an handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die." So she was ready to die, man, because of what was going on. She was ready to, check out. It says, "And Elijah said unto her, Fear not, go and do as thou said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and for thy son. For thus saith the Lord, power of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon earth." So that barrel of meal, it was there. The oil was, was still there until until the famine had passed, until the rain, man, until the Lord sent rain back on the earth. Because when it rains, you don't get no water for your crops. If you don't get no water for your crops, then your crops won't grow. So this is what caused the famine. This is what happened when the Lord withhold rain, all right, from a land. When you get no rain, you get no growth to your crops, man. So you starve. So that was pretty much the point. Verse 15 says, "And she went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat many days. And the bearer of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by Elijah." So it was like a continual supply of food, man. It was a continual supply of resources, man. So you gotta think about a situation like this. When the Lord got brothers and sisters in the wilderness where there is no food, well, you gotta think, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna make something happen. You can't think like, Jake, that was getting out of Egypt. They were complaining, "Oh, Moses, you brought us out here to die. We had it better in Egypt. We missed the cucumbers, the leeks. Why'd you bring us out here to die?" You had faithless Israelites, man, saying all this shit. They didn't believe in the Lord. Here it is, you saw what the Lord did to the Egyptians. You saw the power, you saw it all, but yet you still complain. And Israelites like that are the same Israelites that are here today. And, they will not be defended when Yahweh, Salaki, before I said they will not be defended. When Esau move, they're going to fold, because, Jake, fear Esau. Jake fear the heathen, man, more than they fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. So when these things happen, those that fear Esau and fall back, they will not be defended when the real things start happening. Like, Esau persecuting us is just the beginning of what's to come. There's way more to come than just Esau persecuting us, man. It's going to be famine. It's going to be pestilence. It's going to be, a war. All this stuff is going to happen, man. So Esau persecuting us, it's just the beginning of, what's to come, But the Lord got us through all that, Lord willing, man. All right. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakakodash, and double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the all for elect. Shalom.